On the agenda tonight, we're going to be taking a look at Colter Wall, and he's going to be performing The Devil Wears a Suit and Tie. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, we'll watch this one the whole way through. The performance is just over 4 minutes, 4 minutes and 50 seconds, so almost 5 minutes. We'll watch it the whole way through, and then we'll get into the analysis afterwards, break a few things down, but let's have a little listen to Colter, see how he gets on.
Well, Reverend, please come quick, 'cause I got something to admit. I met a man out in the sticks, a good old miss. He drove a Series 10 Cadillac and wore a cigar on his lip. Don't you know the devil wears a suit and tie? So I'm driving down the 61 in early July, white as the cotton field and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by. He said, I know you, young man. Well, I know you by the state of your hands. You're a six-string picker, just as I am. Well, let me learn you some. I know a few tunes to make all the girls dance. Don't you know the devil wears a suit and tie? So I'm driving down the 61 in early July, white as the cotton field and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by. Oh, foolish was I. Damn my foolish eyes. That man's lessons how to price the sweet price. My sweet soul, everlasting, my very own eternal light. Don't you know that the devil wears a suit and tie? So I'm driving down the 61 in early July, white as the cotton field and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by. Well, the devil wears a suit and tie, so I'm driving down the 61 in early July. White as the cotton field and sharp as a knife, I heard him howling as he passed me by.
And there we have it. So the thing about Colter, once he starts singing, I don't think anybody expects that voice to come out, because it sounds like such a mature voice. Somebody that you'd think maybe was in their 50s or 60s and has such body in the sound, but it's got the storytelling quality to it. Of course, we're not covering a massive range here. We're very much straight down the line. And it's interesting to see the way that Colter delivers the vocal, because I know that more recently, actually I saw an interview with him earlier today where the interviewer said to him about his changing sound vocally. So I think this was 2017, or at least the video was uploaded at that time. So we're talking about 4 years ago now. But having this vocal approach of staying all very much in the same range, having a low range, I mean, we're talking about baritone and bass range here. It looks like when he's providing the vocal, almost like he's reaching for notes, the way that he kind of squints and makes that face when he's trying to sing. What he did say in an interview, and the interview that I saw, was that the change in his vocal style more recently is because he's learned to sing. That's what he was saying. So I'm wondering if this was a way for Colter to put across his vocal, but his vocal might have been stuck in this range. So he might have wanted to free up his range, and then when he learned to sing and access maybe head voice rather than chest voice all the time. This is the thing about artists, that you never know whether they can just sing any note they wish, if they've got a really wide range, or whether Colter's just staying in this position artistically. But it might have been the fact that this is the only way that he was able to sing, until then learning how to access more of his range, and then artistically he wanted to go to those other places with his voice. But certainly with the voice that he produces here, you don't expect it. And listening to his talking voice is within this range, but it's certainly a distinct vocal sound, and it does sound like he's channeling an old soul. So it is interesting from that perspective. Let me get the ranges up on screen so you guys can see what's going on from the vocal perspective. Notes wise, we are going to be in this baritone and bass range. I think for most of the performance, we're around F sharp, which will be here, and this is the F sharp 3. So generally with guys, you'll see here in the baritone range, we're just a little bit lower in that, and mid to slightly above the mid range of the bass. So vocally, just spending a lot of our time around this kind of area, and I think a lot of guys probably wouldn't struggle, or they might get into their head voice possibly up at F sharp 4, maybe F4, so we're probably about an octave lower than you would normally hear guys singing, and very much most guys are baritones towards the top end of the baritone range. So this is where you see a lot of singers in the mainstream. A lot of vocalists will be hitting these notes for male vocalists. So having it lower down in this kind of section, you definitely notice the difference, especially when you've got that body in the sound that Colter has. So we are busting out the acoustic just to go through a few things. And Colter here is playing fingerstyle, and his guitar is a little bit out of tune. It sounds like the intonation is a bit out as well, but that's the point. This is a great performance to show the difference between something that's perfectly tuned and having something that's ever so slightly out but has personality to it and has expression to it. And this is exactly what we get in this performance, not only vocally but with the playing on the guitar. And you'll see on the screen at the moment that he's got the kick, that he's actually got his heel on, I believe. So he's got the bass drum behind him. That's what that is. So you might have thought that he's hitting the guitar, but he wasn't. He's playing that with playing and singing at the same time. So we've got three things going on at once here. And just jumping straight into it, we've got this slide up, which will be, I think he actually kind of hits all of those. Kind of like that into our E minor. And this is really subtly played, so we've got this. And I think there's probably an E string and an A string in there, but it's so muted, you might just hear the... And you might just hear the strikes on the strings rather than hearing any notes coming out clearly. Okay, so the good thing about that intro with the muted strumming is it sets up your groove and the feel. So once you've got that... It's kind of got that bounce to it. Jumping between our low E and our octave above that. And that's going to be going the whole time. And we get that same thing going for pretty much the whole start of the riff. You've still got the aggression in there. So when we've got that first phrase, you know, we're not playing it really softly. We've got some aggression in there. And that's actually quite good that I picked it so hard I got a buzz on that A, on the A string, 2nd fret, on my E minor shape. So that kind of thing just puts a little bit of personality in there. If it was all clean, going, you know, that... It starts sounding a little bit Simon and Garfunkel. Not that that's a bad thing for that style of music, but I mean, it loses the personality that this song and this performance and this artist requires to get across that artistic expression. Why does that note stick out when we have this... That one there, it just sounds like it shouldn't be there. By the way, I'm on the 2nd fret with my capo, so it means that when I'm playing this E minor shape that I will refer to it as is actually an F sharp minor. And I'll refer to all the other shapes like C and A minor, just so you guys can jump into it. As long as you've got your cap on the 2nd fret, you'll be fine. And I am in standard tuning. I'm a little bit more in tune than Colter here, so mine's going to sound a little bit more linear. And because Colter's is slightly out, that's the whole point of it. It gives it personality. It's going to make it sound a little bit more unhinged. But anyway, if I was playing through the minor scale, and I'll call it E minor, even though we know it's F sharp minor, if I'm playing through going like that, those are all notes from the minor scale, but none of those notes are the note that Colter just spends a little bit of time on during this verse riff and the intro riff. So we have this, and that note there doesn't exist in the scale because the scale goes like that, and the note is between my 1st and 3rd finger. So it means that it doesn't belong in the scale of the key that we're playing in. So our brains know this because even if you're not musical, your brain knows how to hear music and knows when a note is being played that isn't part of the scale of the key that you're playing. I know it sounds crazy, but it's exactly the same way how everybody can tell a bad singer from a good singer, because naturally the ear just tunes into whether the voice is hitting the notes over the top of the chord underneath, and whether any of the notes that they're singing are out of the scale. It will sound off, it will sound wrong. But musically, you can start to use that to your advantage, and this is exactly what Colter's done here. And then we have this second part of this finger picking riff that we have is resolving that note. So if I go and we place in the open B string, but you'll find that because that next note is part of the scale, it's resolving it, it's making sense of it, so that your brain will now accept that, oh, we've gone to a note in the scale. So it now makes sense of that previous note. In exactly the same way, if I'm keeping this in E minor, and I went and played that note as part of my blues scale, and then I resolve down to my root note, you're not questioning the fact that I just played. Your brain accepts it because of the other notes that are around it. So that's exactly what we've got here on this C. We might have had a little turnaround there with a different feel. Kind of like that, getting us back into our E minor 7th position here, by the way. Again, it's really rough around the edges, but that is the point of this song and the whole feel behind it, the lyrical content as well. It just sounds exactly how it should for what the song is about, and the way that Colter delivers that vocal, it's just all authentic. It all sounds like it should be exactly how it is, which is just great artistry in order to deliver it like this. And that foot pedal really does add even more to it, just pushing forward, because we've got that constant alternating bass line, but we've also got that foot pedal coming in on 1 and 3, so we're going boom, 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 which is going boom, 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 boom. It's constantly moving it forward, straight here, and we've got that little bit of bounce to the playing on the right hand, and the bounce is going to be in the fingers rather than the thumb. The thumb's keeping it straight. So this is also something you have to take into consideration, that if you're going to want to play this, you've got to do two things at once with the right hand. It's no good just playing the top end of it with your fingers and then just stopping and playing the running bass line with the thumb. You have to combine it. We have this A 6th chord, and he does a little bit of a bend on that high E string with the 3rd finger into our B7th shape if we're talking in standard tuning, forgetting about the capo. And this is, let's have a little run back. And then we've got that intonation. And we've got that little run at the end. With that E, you almost don't hear it. Yeah, there was. So that high E string's definitely in there, but then he goes back into that, just striking the guitar, also having that foot pedal going, but hitting those strings. Kind of like that. And it might be the case that you even get a little bend on that B string. Like that. So I know that he does combine playing rhythm with that right hand as well as picking out the notes with fingerstyle. So a combination of techniques, really cool sound. So there's loads of guitar technique going on here from the lead, that kind of thing, the fills, like that, and the all that kind of stuff, and we've always got that bounce in there, but it takes a lot of organization on that right hand, and Yes, getting this down, getting it subconscious is going to take a lot of practice, and I would have to sit down probably for a little while just to get everything down. But you can tell that Colter's just got this all subconscious. He's putting the expression into the playing, which is what really comes across. And when you pair that with his voice as well, being so unique, it's just something that doesn't sound like anything else, and that's exactly what you want as an artist. But thank you guys so much for requesting this video for me to take a look at, and keep those suggestions coming in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, and if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!